Alright guys, welcome to bonus episode number 4. Today we are covering a Voidz and the Last Shadow Puppets song. Again guys, these two guys, Will and Manny, have not heard the majority of the stuff that we're doing, at least on the solo stuff, which is cool. So a lot of this stuff is new to them for the first time. Today we are covering the Voidz Leave It in My Dreams from their album called Virtue. Their second LP, and we are covering The Meeting Place by The Last Shadow Puppets, which is on their first LP. We wanted to pick a song so that these guys, or Manny specifically, could hear the difference between Miles Kane and Alex Turner's voice together, and this is a song where they're both singing together. And this Voidz song, I figured we would do early because it's a less challenging song, as sometimes people think Human Sadness is sometimes. It's more of a like single sounding song. So like you'll get the vibes of like it's a 4-minute song instead of a 10-minute song. It's like a good so I thought we'd start.
So it's fresh. A normal song.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which but going forward, when I put the rest of the episodes together, I just hit shuffle in the band to just add some randomness to it. But I thought we'd start with like the first 4, each 2.
Okay.
The first 2 for, the Voidz, Shadow Puppets, Alex, and Julian, we would go this way so that you can get a better idea, and then we keep, whatever this spits out is what we do.
Right, okay.
So, I forget what we started with last time. I'm pretty sure we started with Julian last time.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so we'll start with The Last Shadow Puppets today. It's called The Meeting Place. It is on their album, their first LP called The Age of Understatement, which came out in 2008. This you can definitely tell like Alex is baby Alex in this stuff. You can hear it in his voice. It literally only came out 2 years after their debut album did. So it came out in 2008. So they were around like Favorite Worst Nightmare came out only a year after their debut.
Interesting.
So it's around that time, so you can definitely tell, like, in his voice that it's around that time.
That era.
Right before Humbug, right after their first 2. So it's not going to sound like Miracle Aligner, where he's got that like, baritone in his
bass
voice.
Yeah.
It's, like, a lot more of the stuff that we're kind of been listening to, and you'll get... The first listen that I ever listened to, I didn't know it was 2 different people singing. Like they're both very similar, but once you really, really think about it, like when you're here listening to it, unlike me, before I knew that it was 2 people in the band, you'll be able to tell since I'm telling you. But when I first heard it, I did not know like.
That's interesting because Alex has such a unique voice that like that's hard to do. So that should be interesting.
Yeah, and once I figured it out, I was like, I'm an idiot for not hearing
now
that.
You can't unhear it.
Exactly.
Right?
So now that's just how it was for me, but since you'll have some context, I think it'll be a little bit better. But before we get too into what it is, let's give you guys our first listen and go from there. So, aftermath of The Meeting Place. Will seems to be pretty entranced. I haven't heard any moaning from Manny yet, but we'll
Not
see.
Not a big moaner.
Yeah.
But
Will, you go first.
Ooh.
Oh boy. Oh, the table's
I think
start
Will's
rising.
turned on right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I get it.
No. I just, damn. I love hearing, like, good music for the first time. Damn. Oh. That's
Will's going to give it a 5 right now.
We need Brendan down here. He needs to take care of quickly.
Are you recording right now?
Yeah.
Okay. that was amazing.
Turn it off and get a little personal.
That was amazing, dog. Damn, I don't even know where to start with that. That was amazing.
I think we should let Will sit with his thoughts.
Okay, you go
let
first.
Let him process it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was really good. Really, really good. I could tell right away who was who, though.
I know.
But I could see at first, like, kind of...
It also wasn't on a good speaker.
Okay.
Like, I was just listening to it back when, closer to when this came out. Not when this came out, but, like, when I discovered it when I was, like, 16, 17, I had like an iPod at that point, so I had my earbuds in. So like, I did not listen to this on a good speaker.
Right.
So until I started really getting into both bands, then I was like, I get it.
Yeah, I could see how it could be like kind of confusing.
Yeah,
but
they just both have like hot. You can when they start singing in the chorus, like "I'm sorry I met you," like their voices are so like combined. In the chorus, it's tough to hear it.
Yeah, and there is a lot of distortion in there, so I could see it. Just it kind of reminded me of like I don't know why, but almost like a school dance, like on stage, just like a local band type of thing. Like their microphones weren't that great, you know. Like, okay, these guys are pretty good, but like, what are they?
Sounded like a
saying?
live recording.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it was cool. I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I think you're gonna like a lot of the Shadow Puppet stuff. I really do. Already the track record's pretty strong for them.
Yeah.
Like I'll say like this is one of the first songs that like got me like into them. So it's one of the first ones that hooked me. Most of the ones that hooked me are from their second LP. But like when I discovered that one and went back, that's when I was like, oh shit, like they've had good shit out since. It's also crazy to think that they had this band already. Like
I didn't
within
know that.
2 years.
I thought he was doing Shadow Puppets like way later. Like I didn't. Maybe not way later because 2008, but like I thought it was like more of like a mid or like 2012-ish, 13 maybe.
Yeah.
When they were taking like a lot of those like layoffs in between albums and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
What's crazy is like the songs we've listened to so far. Well, Miracle Liner is, but the songs that I've planned like aren't even like the top 5 songs on like the streaming platform. So if you think that was good, that was not even on the top 5.
Yeah, I did take a look at that, at least on Spotify, and I was like, how is Miracle Liner not on here? Like, but I didn't listen to any of the other stuff because I wanted to be just, I want to listen to it with you guys and kind of get like a fresh perspective.
That's kind of what, yeah. Will,
I'm recovered.
You cooled off a little bit?
I'm a little, yeah. Okay. I'm not as hot. I'm not in heat.
Wow.
No, this song, it made me feel like I was freaking levitating. It made me feel, I wrote down in my notes, like, it made me feel like I was on a beach and, like, Miles and Alex were, like, singing this to you.
Yeah.
And
they're very
like how you said
theatrical.
that,
You know what I mean? Like, everything about the Shadow Puppets, like, everything you hear, you can, like, picture a scene of, like, a movie or something. That's what I fucking, like, love about them.
Like, I like how you said, like, it felt like a ball, like a high school.
Yeah. Or, like, now that you said that, and, like, no disrespect
like a montage.
at all. But like, you guys ever walk into like a convenience store and there's like faint music playing in the background? You're kind of like, that's kind of nice. What is that? Yeah. That's kind of like when you said beach. Yeah. I could totally hear that too. Yeah. Like this is I totally understand.
I'm just Ken, you know.
Beach. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. You could listen to this. You could hear music kind of similar to this in a convenience store or on a really cool beach.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like. I was on vacation and like these two guys were like, we're just gonna sing. It was a little like a melancholy song, and I felt emotions for it. So that's why I was like, just fucking take me away. I closed my eyes for like half the song. Like,
what was your favorite part about this? Like, what was it? The lyrics or was it the music for you?
The music. The lyrics are really the lyrics. I was trying to read along, but the music was like taking over. So I was like, next time I listen to this, which I can't wait to listen again. Sadly, it's not gonna feel. I don't know. Maybe it's not gonna feel.
Might feel even better.
It will.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But like the music.
I mean, you obviously got pretty heated. I think when you're by yourself, like who knows what that's gonna hit you.
No, I'll probably be like fucking crying. Yeah. I don't know. This song like it just felt like really like kind of like a bittersweet.
Yeah.
But also like uplifting too.
Well, I want to say with this one, like it is a pretty simple love song, but like the lyrics do matter in this one. Like it's a song they wrote in like a third person, like they were singing about a story. Like the colder the night gets, the further she strays. So like I couldn't
hear the lyrics as well as I typically would want to, just because the music is very very centric and almost like it's almost like you really do focus on that. But I could, just the little snippets that I got of the lyrics, it did seem like very personal. So like,
they're telling a story.
I want to go back and just listen to the actual lyrics.
It's from the perspective of like a person. Oh, voice crack! Yikes! Let's see.
Jared's going through puberty. Oh my god! Will's horny. Like
this song's doing shit to us.
That's like Brendan's role.
Yeah, God. It's from the perspective of like someone looking back at a relationship that didn't go well. So when he says like, "I'm sorry I met you. I'm sorry I left you," like he's sorry that he met them because it put them through so much shit. Like when you listen to all the, I won't touch on every single piece, which I'll let Will do that if he wants to, but like it's a sad slash, yeah, that too. But it's a sad slash, it's so funny because the music in this song, guys, like fans, listeners, the orchestra in this thing, everything Last Shadow Puppets does is just gorgeous because it's like there's violins involved, like these guys said, and like what I said, like it's very theatrical, it's very lovey, but the lyrics, it's like a story of like a tragedy, like a bad relationship, but the music is gorgeous, and I love when bands do that.
And they finally had strings, like that's another piece of my heart, and like we have music, we have strings now.
Yeah.
Like, the lyric that stuck out to me the most was like when I finally like the lyrics that stuck into my head. They knew the time would come and time would be cruel, but it's cruel to everyone. Like that is super true. Like everyone has bad times, you know.
Yeah.
And you can have a really good life. It doesn't always have to be bad, but like bad stuff does happen to everyone. You can't pity yourself out. Like I'm the only person that's going through a bad time. It happens to everyone.
Yeah, he keeps saying about how like the whole point of the song is like they keep going back to the meeting place. Like he doesn't want to think about this, but he keeps thinking about it. Like they tried so hard to steer away from the meeting place, but I think he says like the love has left him there or something like that. Like they're stuck in that like part because they don't want to leave it, but they both know, or at least
we've all
he knows
been there.
Yeah, of course. That's I think that hits home to a lot of people. Like
he doesn't want to move on. He's like stuck there.
Like, you can love someone, but it might not be the best situation.
Right.
Like we've all been in situations like that. So, but I love how they told it like a story. Like they're like two amigos singing about that. See, like that's what I think about. Like it's like a movie, like we said.
It's like
it's like the musician, like Phil Collins and Tarzan, is singing about what is happening in the movie. Like it's like they wrote it for like that scene, that movie.
That album is just that he did not have to do all that.
No, he didn't.
He really did.
He really went for it all. He's the true storyteller.
Shout out to Phil Collins.
Yeah.
Tarzan.
Yeah. What do you got, Will? What are you looking at?
No, I'll just look at the lyrics. I don't really got that much else.
No?
I like that that, you know, in the midst of all of it, like it's a very deeply personal song, right? But then at the end there, it was just like, hey, we're going to throw in an orchestra. Just listen to this. Just relax. Kick back.
The ending's gorgeous.
Yeah,
it's like a little crescendo. Like it sends you off like kind of saying something without saying something. Like that's how I take it. Like it ended, it sounded kind of beautiful, but also kind of sad.
It was like hopeful. Like, because the song was sad. Sorry to cut you off, but like it's hopeful at the end.
Yeah, it came off as like apologetic, if that makes sense.
Yeah, to me, I thought of it as like, because the last lyric that they end off with was, I think it was, I sorry I met you, right? Or left you, right?
Sorry I left you.
Yeah, so to me, it sounded more of like kind of like a saddish like ending to it, because I think he's like finally like starting to get through it. But what's crazy about the songs, with the music and the orchestra, they do a good job of making you think like, you know, it could be a happy thing or a sad thing. Like either the ending is like they got over it, or they're like, you know, getting stuck in it. You know what I mean? Which is, I love when movies do that, when they let you make your own ending. Like it's kind of like a make your own ending type of song. I do want to tell like the fans that are listening, like this is a top 3 song by them that I would say, like if you showed it to someone, clearly it would have an effect. I don't know if everyone's going to be horned up from it, but I can tell you that people are going to be enjoying it if they listen to it.
Sometimes I can't control my emotions.
I know. Oh, I know. It's okay. It's okay.
Will is still navigating and learning his body, and that's okay.
Yeah, and I'm not saying you're like, when I first heard this song, I was feeling some type of way too, but I've known this one for a long time.
So something's wrong with me.
Oh yeah, something's definitely wrong with you. Yeah, human sadness made you feel more horned up.
No, come on. All right.
But oh my god, guys, the song's not even about sex.
Take a shot for every time we've referenced
Will being horny or horned up or cocks today.
Yeah,
God. But all right, well, anyone have anything else on this song here?
No, I just love the ending. I was gonna say you mentioned it. I was hoping it wouldn't just end. I kind of hate when songs just end like that. Yeah. And then when that little orchestra came on, I was
Will was audibly like groaning through the at the last part of the song, so you know it's good. Like
had to let it out.
Yeah, he had like
Couldn't keep that in.
It doesn't happen too often. You hear a song and you just start.
That is true. Yeah. Because I'm like, damn, this song sucks.
Yeah. The album in whole, this one got a lot of positive reviews. So it's a lot of 8 to 7 out of 10 stars, very largely positive reviews. Came out April 2008, 2015. April 15th, 2008. Sorry. James Ford produced it, who we talked about before on the pod. Does like pretty much everything, like a lot of stuff with the Shadow Puppets, plays with them, stuff like that. Does a lot of stuff with the Arctic Monkeys. Like, everything about this record is just very, like, influenced by different musicians. Like, Scott Walker, like, introduced a lot of it. Ennio Morricone, I don't know who that is, but several music critics cited those guys as having influenced the album's style. So I know Scott Walker, but I don't know the first guy. But compared to works of The Zombies, I know you guys know them, Pulp, like stuff like that, bands like that.
I'll say, I think you also mentioned like Alex was like influenced by like David Bowie, and now I can hear it because I was listening to like Space Odyssey and some of his stuff, and I was like, oh, like some of those sounds literally are in the songs.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is really, it feels like a dream.
Yeah.
Is there a video for this?
No.
No. Okay.
This album did hit. Oh my god. Okay, so this album did hit number 1 in the UK albums OCC. It hit 111 on the Billboard 200 in the US, but then it hit number 1 on the US Heat Seekers albums charts, number 9 on the Independent. So like, this album did pretty good commercially.
I wonder if it
the
did
world.
better than like the next. Was this before Humbug?
Yeah.
Like right before, right?
Yep.
I wonder which one did better. It's not. I mean, that'd be a hard thing to top.
Yeah.
Like,
we'll take a look at that once we'll take a look. I mean, Humbug, I think, did a good job. Like, I think that one was pretty, because the who is it? John Home or something like that. Who's the guy from Queens of the Stone Age? The main guy. I know his last name is like Hom or Home, Homme. He produced Humbug.
okay.
So like, I think it's just crazy to think that the two first Arctic Monkeys albums, then this, and then Humbug, like all that done by the same person in the span of 4 years, dude.
Right.
Would you guys like to hear the top 5 songs during this time period?
Yes.
2008, April. Like March, April. Number 1, Touch My Body by Mariah Carey. Number 2, Bleeding Love by Leona Lewis.
Okay.
4 minutes. Number 3, 4 minutes by Madonna and Justin Timberlake. That's number 3. Number 4, Lollipop by Lil Wayne and Static Major. And then number 5, this is all like pop, like, except Leona Lewis. I have to see who that is again. Number 5 was Love in This Club by Usher and Young Jeezy. So like not even bands or anything are in the top 10. It's just single
That's
artists.
pop music for you.
Rihanna's number 11. Miley Cyrus number 12. So yeah, it's just like single artists in these top 10s.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Humbug did do better than this, though.
Really?
Which,
wow.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. It's an Arctic Monkeys album.
It does, but then when you read off that it was number 1 in this, and then it was.
But Humbug was number 15 in the U.S. 200.
Wow.
This
okay.
was 111.
Gotcha.
In the UK, they both did like
really
the
well.
same,
But in terms of
clearly.
like with music, like you would definitely rank like the U.S.
The first
rankings
band,
over.
Yeah.
First band I saw was number 32 was the Jonas Brothers, When You Look Me in the Eyes, and then Radiohead number 37.
Hold on, you saw the Jonas Brothers live? Is that what you're saying?
No, on
the
this
charts.
list. Yeah.
What
so
Radiohead song was it?
Radiohead was number 37, Nude.
How the fuck is all those songs you named higher than Nude? That song's a fucking masterpiece.
That's what I'm
Don't
saying.
disrespect the Jonas Brothers.
You gotta be
Taylor Swift is above Nude, bro.
fuck. Well,
Taylor
of course,
Swift is above
I'm not getting
everyone,
down
right?
that.
Come on, guys. Like
I can't.
We have these conversations before.
Yeah, let's move past this. Anyway, guys, that was The Meeting Place by the Last Shadow Puppets. It's on their first LP, The Age of Understatement, was out in 2008. So right in between Favorite Worst Nightmare and Humbug for the Arctic Monkeys discography here. So we are moving on to the Voidz Leave It in My Dreams, guys. I'm very excited for you to hear this one. That is off their second LP called Virtue. You guys you clearly both have never heard this song, right? Or don't think you've heard it.
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Might not have heard it.
This LP came out in 2018. so it's a little bit
so
fresher.
fairly recent.
Yep. This was the first single off of this album, so it's a single. The second single was actually my favorite Voidz song, which we're not getting to just yet, but the length, when you look at it's funny, when you look at the length of the album, like between this one and the Last Shadow Puppets, this one's an hour long, the album, whereas the Last Shadow Puppets one's only 33 minutes. So
What?
that's what's so insane. Funny. That's what's so funny. But this one, we'll get to some fan comments at the end of the episode for both here. I wanted to just, in bonus episodes, we move a little bit different of a pace. But before we get too into it, let's give it a listen for these guys for the first time. Leave It in My Dreams by the Voidz. All right. That was Leave It in My Dreams by the Voidz, a much different pace from Human Sadness a few weeks ago. What are our first thoughts?
It's super different because we still just listened to Alex Turner, like the Last Shot Puppets.
Yeah. And
it didn't really sound like Julian at first. I was like, what is this? I'm like, oh yeah, it's the Voidz. It is Julian. It's a little different.
Yeah.
Especially like from some of the other Voidz songs I've heard. But like that's how they are. It's just experimental. So like not two songs of theirs are gonna sound the exact same even.
Yeah.
It's a little weird, but I like the weirdness of it.
What do you think, Manny?
I like this one more than anything else we've listened to, Void-wise. So
nice.
Yeah, like Will said, it is different than like I'm starting to piece together that they are like more of an experimental band, which when I was younger I really, really loved that kind of stuff, but I grew out of it a little more. Just because I think with a lot of experimental things, you don't get a lot of like the lyrics.
Yeah.
Or catchy lyrics, I should say. There is like deeper meanings with a lot of these experimental songs, but with this one, the lyrics were much more, what's the word? Like it was just more relatable. I like it. It was, of all the Voidz things that I've listened to so far, this is by far like, because Human Sadness is that the Voidz or is that Julian?
It's the Voidz.
Oh,
okay. So I know. The non-Voidz stuff you've heard was Glass, which is the first one that I listened to. And then River Break Lights, which is the one that you said gave you anxiety.
Oh,
they were Julian. Okay, They were Julian solo songs.
So all right, I think I'd like Human Sadness more for the music, but lyrically, like I like this one more. If that makes sense.
That's why I was struggling so hard to rate them myself, because like I don't want to. Yeah, but they're both so good in their own way. But like this, you can put on. Like, whereas Human Sadness, like, sometimes you gotta, like, have the right place and time for that. Like, if someone's like, hey, cue it up on the car, you're gonna be on a 10-minute Human Sadness, like, binge, which we would like.
And recently, like, I did put it on in the car, right? Me and my lady were on a, road trip, and I put it on, and, like, I think we got through half of it. You know what I mean? Before it was like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Not that we don't like it, but when you have to think of someone else in the... It's,
Whereas, like, when I heard it, a couple of days prior, like I had it on my headphones.
Yeah.
I was home by myself. Like, perfect setting for that kind of song. So, yeah.
I love this song. The thing that I like about this song the most is like the sounds that they're able to create with their instruments, like the Voidz is like the main. So it started off with like, did you think it was gonna go into the tempo that it was going to?
No.
Because when I heard that for the first time in my head, I'm like, where's this gonna go? I thought it was gonna be like a like the way it was gonna go, but then the drums went like that. That was what I was gonna talk about. The way that chord progression is, like, it sounds like you never like know what they're using.
That hits the nail on the head for me, because at first I got like kind of excited, and then when I saw like after like I don't know 6 or 7 seconds of where they were going with it, I was like, oh. All right. Oh,
really?
Man. Yeah, because it was like that's not where I expected it to go.
Yeah.
But then as the song goes along, it redeems itself. It's like, oh, okay, I like this still. But I was worried after like 10 seconds. I literally
You wanted it to be SpongeBob.
Yeah, I did want it to be SpongeBob. Yes. Yeah. That was the vibe that I was getting. I was like, oh, this is gonna be like an alt SpongeBob. Yeah. I like this. Yeah. And then it, like you said, it goes a different way that you don't expect. And I literally internally was like, oh man.
But like so many of the Voidz things like are like that. Like you think you know where it's going, and like you don't. And Some of my favorite Void stuff, though, that's why I'm, like, worried about you, Manny, because, like, I'm hoping that you love Human Sadness, so, like, if you love Human Sadness... It
grew on me, though. It is one of those, and that's how, I think that's how experimental music is for me, and that's why it's experimental, is, like, you don't usually know exactly how you feel the first time, whereas, like, if you hear a song that's, like, playing on the radio for the first time, you can normally tell after the first play, I definitely like that, or I hated that. Don't need to listen to it again. Whereas like a lot of the Void stuff is like, damn, I need to listen to it 3 or 4 times before I can give like my actual thoughts on it. So, yeah.
There's only a couple songs that the Voids do, maybe a few that I can be like, oh, the Strokes could also pull that off. This is close to it. I still don't think it's the one. There's one called Permanent High School, I think is what it's called. That one sounds to me just like a Strokes song. But there's only a handful that you can like think like, hey, the Voids are doing like a Strokes impression.
I see what you mean. It's close.
Yeah,
like
the closest thing to this one's the very close.
So
it's like the second closest. Like there's not many that sounds like it because I said before like the Strokes couldn't pull off a Void song, but the Voids could pull off a Strokes song because like they've done it before. Like the production is crazy, but this song like when I heard it for the first time I was like this is a Julian vocal song for me. Because of his not only his vocals but like the way that he and Will said this many times before like the way that he drags like vocals out like I love that thing that I'm gonna try my best to like mimic it because it's a very Julian thing when he does his falsetto and he what's the lyric he's like so does it he's like I know it's so bad and he does that like that rasp at the end he's like
stupid
like he does that like that's such like and like there's so many Stroke songs especially in like new
there it is.
If my voice cracks again I'm gonna have a literal stroke.
I didn't even notice that time
right.
I didn't have any water. Like the songs like the New Abnormal he does like shit no not coffee. He does like run at the door like you know like he does that like rasp at the end. So I love, like, throughout this whole song, like, he's, like, going places where I'm, like, cool. Like, I don't know if you guys do it, like, with songs. But, like, I think of, like, hey, is this person going to go here with the melody or not? And with that one, like, I'm, like, cool. Like, he's going exactly where I want him to go. Like, there's a part where he's, like, Fast Times in the Park. Like, I love that part specifically. So, like, the melody of his, like, voice in this song, like, he's the reason why... like, I like this song. Like, the way that the instruments sound, the experimentation with it, like, I love. But for him, his decisions and his voice was just, like, phenomenal. That's where I'm at with it. Yeah. So, what are your guys' like, thoughts on, like, what stood out the most?
Well, this is the first time that, like, I could understand, like, the majority of the lyrics. I didn't have a hard time, like, following it. Mm-hmm. Where, again, like, some of those other things, it's like, damn, okay, I really need to, like... focus in like what is he saying it's hard to hear
like Human Sadness
Human Sadness all over the place so this didn't feel as all over the place which is probably why like my initial thought is like I like it a lot.
What instruments stood out the most? What do you think? Like which part like what part of the song is like your biggest like standout? I
don't know that like the instruments like no one instrument really stood out for me, and again I think it's just because I think it's really just because this was the first time like I can understand what he's saying like let me listen and so like that was really where I was like my mind was really fixated on but the music itself was because that's the other thing with a lot of his songs I feel or their songs is sometimes the music can be so overwhelming that I can't try to listen to the lyrics because it's just too it's overwhelming. Whereas this one, it didn't feel overwhelming. So it allowed me to like kind of kick back and listen to what he was saying and enjoy the melody of it. Whereas I really haven't been able to do that with the previous songs that we listened to from them. So
that is true. Yeah.
Is there an instrument that stood out to you the most, or a piece that did?
Actually, the guitar stood out to me a lot. I was listening to those, but like Manny said, like his voice, I was looking at the lyrics, but like I can actually turn away and I can understand what he was saying from it, so it was really nice. Yeah. And I love his like the chorus part where it's like the falsetto. That part I really like too. But I can't even. I'm not even gonna try to do it today. It's gonna sound so bad.
The chorus is actually, I guess that's part of the chorus. I get struggle with it. I know the main chorus is like the song and wait so early and get up in the morning and just but then like it continues with that part. But I think that's the bridge. But I know which part you're talking about.
Yeah, because I know I can feel like you were like, it's here.
That's my like I love whenever he uses falsetto. That's like for you in the meeting place. So that's what gets me all torqued up. I just love anytime his voice gets a chance to shine and like show his deep, his mids, his highs, and then his falsetto, like which this song does. Like another thing, like with the guitar solo, I loved like in the background you had like to me it was like a Jamaican style like background noise, like dun, dun, while the guitar is doing his thing,
right?
Which you guys will see as we continue with the Voidz stuff. They have such like an infatuation with other world music, which he's talked about in like interviews. Like there's 2 songs which are like 2 of my favorites that are definitely inspired by like Indian music, and then there's a couple that have like Jamaican like little nuances with it. I fucking love it when he does that, and when they do the Indian stuff, he sings like it too. He's like no, like you'll see,
okay.
you'll see. I think that's one of those are next. I'm very excited for that. It took everything for me not to pick one of those songs this week.
I was to say like there was I don't know if it definitely wasn't a slide whistle. But it was like maybe it was like an electric guitar, but it's like as he was singing, it was following his voice.
It's a guitar, but it's a pedal, and it's the way they produced it. Like that's what they do. Like this is what Julian wants to do, and why we're so like confused on why he thinks this way. Like it makes sense. Like the Strokes wouldn't do this stuff. They're probably peak of like what they kind of wanted. Now we're not in the room, so I can't speak for them. It's just what we see and what we hear
from what they made.
Yeah, like when we're thinking of experimentation, like or the one where there's like it's Why Are Sundays So Depressing? Like the guitar is on that like effect where it's like ding ding ding, ding, like you know what I mean? Like like during like the Bob Dylan sounding part, like that to me is Strokes experimentation, or like anything from Angles. Is like their experimentation.
Yeah, I was gonna say even the New Abnormal is very like. It just seems more experimental than what we're used to hearing from them.
But it's like a Strokes level.
For sure.
But it's like a Strokes level experimentation.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like
this level.
It's not the Voidz, but it's like for what they are, I don't want to say capable of doing. I'm sure they're capable of doing all crazy types of stuff.
Of course, that's not what
they're brilliant musicians, but as far as like what they like to do, like that is peak experimental for the Strokes, and I could see like that. If that's the highest level that they'll go there, I could see why like Julian has to do stuff like this. Like it's that's not gonna like you have like a scratch.
Yeah.
You go to itch it like the Strokes are not gonna fulfill that for him. So
and when I say like they couldn't do it, it's not that they couldn't do it. It's like
they could.
Like together they like wouldn't want to. Do
no, they're a different type of band. Like it's just not really what. They probably again. I don't want to speak for them, but
exactly,
I don't know. Some musicians aren't really into experimenting with those types of sounds or different genres. So
Will, you got the lyrics up. Talk to us about what stands out to you.
Yeah, there was one I did like catch. La 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 la. I did like this one. It was just like catchy. You hope the girl would chase you out the door. I can't think of the way he's singing it now. I'm gonna have to re-listen to the song, but that one I was like, ooh, that's pretty cool. Where's the one? I wonder what he means by this. I broke up with Edison. I've had enough. Because Edison
does say he says, I don't know. Maybe you guys know more than me, but
I don't know. There's a girl or a guy named Edison.
I don't know.
I was thinking of like Thomas Edison, the guy that made the light bulb.
Well, Edison
and I was like, you broke up with Edison. Like, did he break up with like lights, like the light of his life? Like, I was like,
that's the thing too. If you notice, like both him and Alex do reference like a lot of men in their songs, and I wonder if it has like a deeper like personal meaning to them, like whoever these people are, or like I don't think it's that far fetched to think that there's a lot of musicians that like you don't write every song, and just because Julian's singing it doesn't mean that he was the one that necessarily wrote it. You know what I mean? So I wonder about that sometimes. But yeah, that I did when I saw that pop up. I was like, oh, Edison, okay.
I was like, who is that?
Right.
And then I don't want to hear what I can't mime. I'm trying to figure out like.
What does that mean?
I don't want to hear what I can't mime. It just stood out to me. I was like,
yeah, that's a cool line.
Yeah. Probably something
really
where like
cool.
if he can't like replicate it, he doesn't want to hear it because it might frustrate him, like a jealousy type thing. Because sometimes I feel like that if like I'm a fan of someone and I'm trying to do the same thing and they can do it and I can't do it, sometimes like fuck, like why can't I do that?
Yeah, you don't want to be around them. It's like,
yeah.
So it's probably like, you don't want to like do things that you can't replicate or like Yeah. This is gonna be so stupid. I was playing freaking Lego Star Wars, and one of my little there's
that's a great game.
It is freaking so good. I don't care. Anyways,
All the Lego games are really good.
The latest one is not as good as the older ones for some reason. I'm like,
what's the latest one?
Skywalker Saga, and it's like super HD.
Remastered. It's really fucking good.
It's fun, but there's like some stuff they left out that older games have, and I'm like, why? Where was I going with this?
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Brought up Legos and it just derailed from there.
There's a lyric, I don't know if you saw this one, but it's my life and I can't delete it. Is that the life I lead? Like
I love that. That line was probably my favorite of like the bunch.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a song where it's like when I'm reading through it, it definitely part of it is a love song, and then he's trying not to overthink the situation that he's in. But sometimes when he brings up people like Edison and Fast Times in a Park, it's like, wait, where are you going with this?
Yeah.
I bet if we kind of read through it a few times, we'd be able to kind of get the vibe. But again, it's Julian. Like, he knows where he's going, and that's where he's going.
Right, and it's like it's one of those things of like when I listen to like his music, their music, it's very like there's a lot of anxiety, I feel like. And that's why it's hard to piece together, because there's so many parts, and how his brain probably works. Yeah. With this style of music is just like it's all over the place. Like, what does it mean? I don't.
Yeah, we were saying like last time, he's like almost like a modern like a rock star like Mozart, where he just pieces random shit together, and like think of how long he's been doing it. So like he probably has so much stuff in his head, just like he has to throw together sometimes. Yeah. Where I was going with that Lego thing was Anakin in the game sometimes, or you have to be like a certain character to like unlock a room, and Anakin's like, oh, why can't I do that? So that's kind of like what Julian's saying. Like, you can't mind me. Like, oh, why can't I do that? I don't want to do it.
It's a good example.
Yeah, that line in the game always makes you laugh.
When they can't do it.
That line always like we need to like unlock room. He's like, oh, like you need to like destroy a certain material. He's like, oh, why can't I do that? I'm like, cause you're Anakin, you're a good guy. You need to be a bad guy. But like that's kind of like what Julian's saying.
Anytime I hear Anakin, I think of the sand.
I don't like sand. It's
like
coarse.
Sand.
Yeah, it gets everywhere.
The dialogue. Oh my
god. Cringe.
You could have like Julian could just rewrite that whole like episode 1. Yeah. Would you guys not watch that?
I would. I've read anything he does.
Star Wars.
Anything this man does, I'm gonna watch it and listen.
Well, maybe if the pod gets big enough.
Yeah.
You know, Will, you're in his DMs.
Right,
you can talk to him about it.
Yeah.
Get Disney in there and just pitch the idea.
I know he likes Star Wars. He doesn't love it, but I've heard him talk about like liking Star Wars, or like he just made in a podcast I listened to. He compared like the Empire and the Republic to like what's going on now in like politics and stuff.
That makes sense. He's very political, so I can see why like that aspect would appeal to him.
He said like something about he likes it, doesn't love it, or he knows of it, he likes it, and not like a massive super fan. But but yeah, what do we think? You like that one?
I did like it. It was like the weird, and I'm really into weird stuff, and sometimes I don't talk about it, but like I wanted to start embracing that stuff now, so I did really like it. Well, I can't wait to hear it again.
Yeah, we skipped over rankings for the meeting place. What are we ranking Last Shadow Puppets the meeting place?
I'm gonna say again, because I have to hear it. You know, I want to hear it again, but for that first listen, I really, and this is high for me, I would say it's a 4.0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I'm just gonna say I was gonna literally say 4 on the dot. Yeah, like literally I was gonna say.
Yeah. I'm gonna say 4.0.
Yep.
What about you, Will?
First listen, I really want to give it a 5. Like, but this is the first time I've heard that song.
Feels right.
Does it feel
give it a 4.9.
It is a 4.9, and then the more next week it will be a 5 because this is the first time.
It a couple times. Yeah, exactly. And that's why like
just think about next week.
4, but like. You know, I felt that same way about like Miracle Liner, and like I would put Miracle Liner at 5 now.
It's gonna be tough for you guys. Like you don't know what's to come. Yeah. So like I know what to compare it to. So like that's why.
That's why I'm being generous. I'm gonna say it's a 4, which is high for me. Like
4.0.
4.0, because like to me, like if I'm saying like a 3.5, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a really good song. If you're 4. Like, that's great.
Yeah.
You're in that great song territory. So, like, I'm going to put it at an even 4 for now because, like, I really loved the initial.
Good. Yeah. I say, like, a 4.5.
Okay.
And I know it's going to grow on me the more I listen to it. Just because I love, like, the emotional stuff. It always gets me.
Yeah.
It puts me in my good feelings.
Yeah. It's a good rankings there for Last Shadow Puppets again. What do we think about Leave It in My Dreams, the Voidz?
Off of a first listen, I would say a solid 4.
Okay.
Solid 4 and a dot.
4.0. Mm-hmm. What about you?
Ooh.
See, I'm struggling, even in my mind, I'm struggling to think here as well.
It's kind of like what Will said. Of like, that's definitely the type of song that like I just know if I hear it a couple more times, it's gonna be higher. But I gotta be honest, of like right now. So like I would say maybe like I'd feel comfortable at like 3.6. 3.6 for
good,
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's up there. That could easily, if I hear it like 2 more times, then it'll be like, a top 20 song by the end of the year on my playlist type
That's
thing.
what I was gonna say,
Yeah.
3.6. But I know if I hear it again, it's gonna go up. So I'm gonna say 4.
Okay.
This is tough for me because, like, again, I know like what's coming, but this is like how high the ceiling is for the Voidz for me. I'm giving it like a 3.8, like 3.7, like around that little like 2-point range, like. Because, and like I want to like emphasize like it's a good 3.8, like it's a really good 3.8, like it's a good song. It's just the Voidz have so many greats, and I'd feel disgusting if I put this ahead of some of the ones that I know are coming up, which you guys might not agree. Like I think I'm gonna be a little more into some of the stuff that's coming in. I mean, we all have kind of the similar taste. I do think that you guys will like the things that I'm thinking of. But it's tough for me because basic isn't always bad, of course. But for the Voidz stuff, this one's more on, and like basic for the Voidz is like experimental for other stuff, or like not basic for others. This is basic for the Voidz.
Yeah.
More basic for the Voidz. More strokey.
Well, that makes
type.
sense because I can understand it. Like from the first jump, that's that's saying a lot. So.
But I love some of the big bang stuff that they do, which Human Sadness is like a small, like. Really step in the direction of like what is to come. Now you don't have to worry about 10-minute songs. I think that's the longest song they do. So the rest are like 4,
7
5,
and
6.
a half, 8 minutes.
Not 7. No. So you'll see. But like some of them like flow more because there's not so many changes in what the hell's going on. Like it's a steady beat. It's just longer with like solos and stuff. But again, anyway, with this one, I'd say probably a 3.8, 3.7, like around that ranking for me.
Yeah, so we're all pretty close.
Yeah.
I'll say, what did you mean when you said like this hits the ceiling? I was just curious. You said like this hits the ceiling for the Voidz, or like.
No, I was saying this one's not the ceiling.
It's not the ceiling.
Like not even close.
Like this is a very simplistic version of what they.
I think that's what I was saying. Yeah, that's probably what I was saying.
I thought you meant like this is their best. I was like,
oh hell no, no fuck no. And if I did say that, that was a mistake. So retract that. But I don't think I did. I probably meant like this isn't like their ceiling. Like this is not even close.
Okay.
Human Sadness to me isn't even their ceiling. That's much higher. But like that's not their ceiling. Like. There's songs I just wanted to get to right away, but again, I didn't want to like flush all the favorites out within the first 4 weeks. Like I wanted to get a couple ones that people would know, which these are 2 people would know, and then like shuffle it.
Yeah.
I still might change some things around and bring them closer, but I don't want to just keep doing my favorites. To you guys, it won't matter.
Yeah, we gotta spread it out and
but I don't want to leave just the crap ones not even crap, but just my not favorite ones towards the end.
all bunched up at the end. Yeah.
So I have to.
I'm actually really curious because it's so experimental. Like, part of me wants to hear the ones that you don't like, because then like maybe those are the ones that like me and Will really really enjoy. So
well, that's why I'm doing it this way. After these ones, I'm shuffling it. And I'm also excited because like some of those ones are the ones I don't listen to all the time. But the 10 specifically that I like listen to on repeat are like, stroke level, like love them. Like they're so good. But cool. So very common ratings for both songs, I'd say. Very high for The Meeting Place and good to great on
yeah, this was a solid
good for the Leave It in My Dreams. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Those 2 songs I did not know.
Yeah. That's the whole point of these bonus episodes. I love it. Guys, we didn't get many fan comments for these guys just because of the time crunch we were on for these, but I have a couple. We'll start with The Meeting Place. So we had Clem_3 say, in my opinion, The Meeting Place is the best song The Last Shadow Puppets has ever made. The combination of their vocals is awesome. I listen to the song every day and just count for Alex or Miles' line. Confident Balaclava said, I can't get enough of it. It's beautiful. And we got Suki said, definitely one of my favorites, but for me, they peaked with Miracle Aligner. Just funny. a lot of people are commenting on the live performance because obviously when they perform that live, they play together and it's cool, emotional. They have an orchestra with them, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, there was the video for it. It's technically a video, but it's just a live performance. It's not like a video. But that's pretty much the comments we got there. So a lot of love for it, but then also people saying Miracle Line. I think like these are two of the best, like, but there are still great ones still to come. But some of my favorites aren't the ones that these guys think are their favorites.
Yeah.
Which you guys might feel the same as them, or you might not. But now for a lot, and then Ultron Vision said my personal favorite from their album. Then a couple people actually after that also said the same thing. So a lot of good things for the meeting place. For Leave It in My Dreams, we got a couple here. A deleted account said some Voidz fans get annoyed when people mention this kind of thing as if it's a knock against the members of the Voidz personally. Obviously, it isn't a Strokes song, but it is one of the strokiest things Julian has put out in a long time. Just like certain more Voidz-sounding things that popped up on the Strokes songs in the last few years. Drag Queen, for example. That's from the EP. The future past, what's it called? I should know this, but it's the one with like the colors on it. It has like Oblivion on it.
Future past present.
Yeah, I think it's like that. Yeah, it's that EP. It's on that. He's the main songwriter in both bands. I don't know why it's so controversial to talk about these things. I don't think it's controversial. I just think some Strokes fans feel a certain type of way about how much attention he's giving the Voidz. It's kind of like a stepchild type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, I had a kid with this person. Now they're getting all the attention.
Well, but it's also like the Strokes would be like that child that like grew up.
Yeah.
And like they're kind of like...
That's a good way to look at it, too.
Yeah, they have their own thing. They have enough out there.
I don't want to grow up, though.
Yeah,
no. See, that's the point, though.
Will, they were grown before you even knew about them. They've been around for a while, so it's okay. But then, like, that makes sense with, like, the Voidz is kind of like his... Like, imagine if you could go back and redo so many things before your career took off. He gets to kind of re-roll the dice and do things that he didn't have the money to do or the experience to do or the want. So I think like that's why like maybe I get the feeling that like he has like a deeper love for the Voidz than he does the Strokes.
I think the experience is like what he's aiming for because like he's had the experience with the Strokes and he's like, all right, I want to do a different direction.
Right.
And like this, he has more freedom with it.
Which makes a lot of sense when you look at, you know, a lot of established artists, they pivot. Like, you're really good at one thing, and then after a while, like, it's just cool to create something different. As an artist, you're constantly creating, and he's, like, the epitome of an artist, you know? He loves to create, so...
Like, I don't know if you guys listen to... I don't think Jared does. I don't know if you listen to Post Malone. No, but he's stepping into like country now. I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and like he was really into like metal, you know, in his younger years. So it's like he's all rap. Over. Yeah, he's all over the place. So
but now he's like super country. Like I've heard like they had like a sneak peek of it. I'm like,
he is from Texas. Can confirm, unfortunately, a Cowboys fan.
Yikes.
Yeah. But
okay, so CRV Noob said this song is one big harmony ball, as Julian called it. It's like the opposite of the new abnormal in terms of the volume of Julian's voice. Julian said he looked to The Young Turks by Rod Stewart as a spirit guide, but I think something he might be missing, though, is that in The Young Turks, the harmony balls go in and out. Sometimes you can hear Rod Stewart clearly, and then the harmony balls come in and out. Maybe he's just experimenting, though. I'm going to have to listen to that, because I don't know enough Rod Stewart to, like, understand the comparison. Do you know?
Yeah,
do you know any, maybe?
No.
Gotcha. Cool Cucumber said, I find it a little ironic that for a band quite different from the Strokes, the two Strokesiest songs they made, Leave It in My Dreams and Did My Best, are some of their most popular songs. I wouldn't agree with that. I think some people are also disagreeing. Maybe like the songs that are like top on streaming platforms do not count as like the top for me. Like, at least that's not what I think. I think of like the opinion of the fan base itself. Like, obviously, when you're recommending something, like, those, like, apps are going to automatically recommend you the singles, and those guys are singles, so they're going to be played the most. But if you ask the Voidz fans, none of them are going to say these two are their best songs. I guess they just might mean, like, the most played or something, like, the most recommended, because they're singles.
Right.
But that's the only downside about streaming, is, like, so much of the shit you get recommended is never the deep cuts. It's always the singles and stuff. That's why, like, doing Discover Radio, for anyone that uses, like, Apple Music or Spotify, like, doing Discovery, like, that's better because it gets, like, some of these, like, deeper cuts.
Those obscure...
Yeah. So I get that there. But All right, guys. Well, thank you for all these comments or on this thread here for these songs. We are done with this one, I think. We've got Leave It in My Dreams by the Voidz and The Meeting Place by the Last Shadow Puppets, both off of their... so the Voidz, it was from their album Virtue from 2018, and Meeting Place is from the Age of Understatement from 2008, so 10-year apart solo albums here. We got any final thoughts on these guys here?
Both great.
Yeah.
Like them both. Yeah, great.
Do you want to release some more steam from the Meeting Place?
No, it's all out.
Okay, it's all out. Good. You heard it here first, folks. It's all out. All over the table. All under the table.
Coffee on the table.
Yes. How do you still have that shit this whole time?
I don't know. I was like,
drink that last sliver right now.
I was like, you served me very well. I had this all day. I saved half of it for now because I knew I was gonna be tired.
Gotcha. Well,
it's my baby.
All right, guys. It is 11:13 p.m. and we are tired, and some of these guys got to get to Betty by soon. That's Manny and Will. All right, they're gonna fall right asleep in the little Betty buys.
My bed is normal size. I want to say.
Okay,
it's a normal size bed. It's not a little bed, Jared.
Yo, I got a queen bed up there. All right.
I have a full size bed just for.
Damn, Will's got a full size bed.
That's a little smaller than a queen, right?
Yeah, no, that's smaller, Jared. You have a bigger bed.
Yeah, right. There
you have a bigger bed, Jared.
Yeah. But all right, guys, we're gonna cool off. We got hormones going all over this room in this episode. We will talk to you guys next week. We got another episode, another bonus episode, Wednesdays and Fridays always. We are upcoming to track 5s on Is This It and whatever people say and that's what I'm not. That's gonna be. You probably couldn't see For the Light with the Arctic Monkeys. Another long-ass title from them. I hate when they do that.
What's the next one?
They're pulling a Fall Out Boy. That song.
No, yeah, I was just about to say you love Fall Out Boy, so don't go there.
And the hit Someday from the Strokes is next. That's going to be a big deal. I already got a lot of the fan comments on both of these songs. We're ready to talk about that song. It's going to be a big deal. So Someday for the Strokes, and you probably couldn't see For the Light. That's actually where it cuts off. I can't see there. I actually know the rest of the song title.
It just keeps going like those stones that drag over.
Yeah, like it's okay. So you probably couldn't see the lights, but you were staring straight at them.
Say it again.
Sorry, but you probably couldn't see For the Lights, but you were staring straight at me.
Okay.
I don't understand that title. That's why I'm like confused by it.
You probably couldn't see For the Lights, but you were staring straight at me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when the lights are in your eyes, but you can't. But you're looking straight. But
I think it's just the way he's like speaking it because he's from the UK. Maybe that's why it.
Say it with an accent.
Weird.
You
probably couldn't say Through the Lights, but you were staring straight at me.
That was pretty good. Yeah. I like that one better.
That one didn't turn to a southern accent like the other times. Anyway, guys,
calm down.
See.
Will's gonna get horny again. We gotta
go. Yeah. So we got those two next week, and next week's bonus, we're doing another Julian and Alex Turner song. Or we might switch it up and just go to another Voidz and Shadow Puppets, whatever we feel like doing. Because I'm kind of on a high with these Voidz and Shadow Puppets songs. We'll see. Anyway, guys, good night, good afternoon, good night, good evening, good everything.
Good things.
Good morrow. We'll see you guys next week. Hey guys, it's Jared here. Thank you so much for listening to the episode. You can find us on all our socials at Karma and Tranquility, and Twitter, Karma and Tranquil. Our link trees are posted in every single description on every social, so you can access everything that we have to offer. And we will see you every Wednesday for our normal episodes and every Friday for a bonus episode.